Okay, we are the 12th of September, and here in France it's 22:55 p.m. And I will make an ordinary video. I will talk ordinarily. I suffer from many problems. One of which is that I experience violent mood shifts because of my intellectual understanding of the world, and also I become smarter every day, which I've already said this, retroactively makes me stupid in a sense that every day I understand better, I understand myself better, the world, my past, others, which makes it so that the smarter I become, the more stupid I experience myself, because I see errors and mistakes in my past. And when I am all alone in my room, studying, reading, thinking, I experience ontological loneliness and anger, guilt, shame, and not only, but it happens. And then when I go back into the real world, but actually they are not separated, but when I encounter people, when I talk to people, on a conscious level I tend to forget my truth, because my truth is so ludicrous in a way, but I experience frustration because I cannot talk to people, and because, I mean, there are various other frustrations that I experience on an empirical level, but one of which is that I cannot talk to people, or at least not to the people who I think would be able to understand what I have to say, or yeah. And I've realized that the reason why people do not watch my videos or are not interested in what I have to say when I talk to empirical person is simply because either it's way too complex, or because they simply do not have the time. Making videos and thinking for me is a full-time job, if one can call this a job. So I work I don't know, 16 hours a day. I mean, work, it implies structuring my environment, but I work every waking hour. I am focused on what I do. It's not really work in the sense of manual labor, but it's demanding. And I complain about myself for the fact that people do not watch my video. I experience frustration on an empirical level because people do not watch my video. It's not that's I laugh, but it's not that I think, oh, I have something super interesting to say, although I'm starting to think that actually I might have interesting things to say. It's simply because I carry a burden the burden of the negative, because I know myself to be the root of all evil in my reality. Since there's only one reality, so I would like, here is very complex, I would like others to get rid of me as an empirical individual, because I would like to I just would like to appreciate being. I cannot even say I would like to appreciate existence, because from a logical standpoint, existence means a separation from God, so this is already suffering and negativity and whatever. I would like to appreciate being, but here it's so complex. I cannot pretend that I care about the suffering of others, of all others at least, because in my reality it is made manifest that people all over the world are suffering to various degrees every day. So I cannot lie and say, oh, I care about everyone. Because if I really did, the suffering would stop. So in a way, I cannot pretend that I care. But it's a little bit more complicated than that. On another way, I suffer from the suffering of others, not because I care about them, because there are people dying every minute that I don't know on an empirical level. I don't know anything about them. That's why it's so complex. There are people who get abused, killed, hit, raped in various ways every minute somewhere on this planet, and I can't pretend that I care, because I can't pretend. But on the other hand, the idea that I am the cause of suffering to others, it makes me suffer, not because I care about others, but because I care about what I think about myself, and associating the idea of myself with being the cause of suffering to others, it makes me suffer because I don't like. So here, I don't know if I am lying or not, but actually I wouldn't say that it irritates me, it makes me insane. Because basically, here I am in the mood to laugh. What I would like, but I know maybe it's not even possible, I would like just to solve all the world's problems, just so that I could be left wherever, just to appreciate being, basically. And I suffer. I will not complain, but I understand myself basically that a lot of my suffering, and maybe the suffering of others, comes from misunderstanding. I'm not saying that all, but a huge proportion. I cannot make myself intelligible. I cannot, I fail to communicate on an empirical level. And this morning I followed the live stream of Apollonian Germ, which, whatever I say, is, I know, the most intelligent masculine other in the world. There is Stella, which is the most intelligent feminine other, but then feminine and masculine intelligence are kind of different. But yeah, Apollonian Germ, he's the smartest, the most enlightening. But I realized this morning that my truth is I traveled way too fast in a way. This is a contradiction that I will have to deal with. But basically, I know the truth. The level of consciousness where Apollonian Germ, who is the most intelligent individual outside of myself in the entire world, the level of consciousness where he finds himself at, as of now, 12th of September, is the level of consciousness that I was at towards the end of 2017, so almost 5 years ago. And my intellectual development, I've realized this, tends to happen at the speed of light. Sometimes the speed of light multiplied by itself. I had 2 years, 2020 and 21, where I was in a dogmatic slumber and I was dumb. I still improved intellectually, but it was I fell asleep in a way. I forgot, I deluded myself, I don't know exactly, but basically I was disconnected from reason and Hegel, if that's possible. So yeah, but basically, whatever. That's another cognitive dissonance, which I kind of expected, but yeah, whatever. So, I suffer from many contradictions, one of which is that I am frustrated on an empirical level because I cannot communicate. But if I am honest with myself, I am not doing everything that I can to communicate. But, I will be honest, I know that there will be a moment in the coming days or weeks, I don't know, there will be a moment eventually when the world, the substance, will look at me in one way or another and recognize me as being the negative, whatever. But basically, I will... this idea is ludicrous, but I will become eventually the center of attention simply because the objective world and my subjective mind are connected. And when this happens, I can try my best to stabilize, but basically when the whole world, on an empirical level, I don't know what will happen, how, whatever, but I can only make supposition that when the pressure of the whole world, the problems of the whole world, the complaints of the whole world, whatever, come at me, I can try my best to remain stable, but eventually I don't know how to solve all the problems, enduring the suffering, the patience and the pain of the negative, as I would say. But basically, other than just patiently enduring the suffering and the pain, yeah, whatever. So what I have been trying to do is to speak the truth, to be honest, to trigger the apocalypse, the revelation. But seeing that it doesn't work, I try to stabilize. That's why I made a video on economics. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. Yeah, my books about economics, I wanted to show them. No, I will show these books in every video. Bullshit jobs. Most jobs in developed industrial society or post-industrial, whatever, these are bullshit jobs. This is simply the truth. Here I will not say this is my truth, this is the truth of the substance. I'll put the blame on the substance. No, seriously. Yeah, a lot of jobs are simply bullshit. The bureaucracy. Here's the left-wing version. I could pick up Mises, but here I will pick Guebwiller. I'm just sharing knowledge. People do whatever they want. I had a bullshit job I was in a process of acquiring a bullshit job, namely to be an accountant, but then balancing the books, whatever. But basically, this is a bullshit job. I quit in February my bullshit job to focus on something productive. So I don't expect others. Maybe I do, but if I do, I'm disappointed. But basically, what I did, I quit my stupid job to become a YouTuber, and I work every day, every waking hour. By work, I mean also taking care of the commodities, a few hours to organize my life, buying groceries, etc., etc. But basically, I work all day in what I think I'm the best, the least worst, one might say. Namely, trying to make intelligibility and share the categories and bring intellectual order, etc., etc. So that's what I do. Others do whatever they want, but we are going through a period of trouble, changes, whatever. So do whatever you want, but basically, if you think that you have a bullshit job, do whatever you want, but if you want to spend whoever you are outside of myself watching this, if you want to spend the rest of your days doing a stupid job, do whatever you want. But yeah, actually God controls you secretly. But let's pretend that you have a free will. The utopia rules. Most the bureaucracy, it's just a waste of time. It's stupid jobs. There are bureaucrats to control the bureaucrats, to control the bureaucrats. Here's the right-wing version from Mises. So there is the far left, anarcho-communist, the far right in the determinacy of economics. They say the same thing. Then, that's kind of a leftist view, compulsory schooling, dumbing us down. I will put the links to the video, not the previous, but the one before, where you can find all the links about really existing people who make videos. The Mises Institute made videos about the problem of the educational system. An American young woman, Mrs. Petrov, she made, Apollonian Germ made a video, so you have various perspectives about the American educational system, which is actually, if you have watched my video on logic, I recommend that you do, the singular, the particular, the universal. The American educational system is a singular example of a particular type of country, namely Western countries, but actually it's universal. Our broken educational system, and again, I share the links, you do whatever you want. If you are college students, whatever, if you have children, I share the links, yeah. And then yeah. So you have the left-wing criticism, and I'm not sure that it's a right-wing solution, but yeah, whatever. I will share these books and others in all of my videos until I do not publish videos any longer, or until whatever. But yeah. So one of the contradictions that I suffer from is that I am trying to be as honest as I can, but I know that the truth is so shocking that it will bring about disruption in a way, and I am the root of all evil, but as of now I have not yet understood what interest I would have of inflicting suffering on myself and on other. I mean, to a relative extent, yes, but because it's part of the process or whatever. Basically, suffering really on a deep ontological level, there's the physical pain, and then there's the moral suffering, there's the ontological suffering. It's not really pleasant. So I try to share light. Am I trying to save myself? Maybe I am, but I can only save myself if I save others. Basically, I'll be honest, my happiest memory was when I could cause joy to another person that I loved, or I had the illusion that I loved her. This is my happiest memory. There's a twisted part of my psyche which enjoys suffering, maybe physically and kind of morally, but there are kinds of suffering that I really don't enjoy. I have to go through the process because whatever, but yeah. So, to simplify, I try to be as honest as I can, but I am not completely honest, because if I really wanted to make my videos successful, I would make videos in French, which I intend to do, but I owe my intellectual and spiritual life to the English language, the American Constitution, and American people, basically. I mean, American English-speaking people, but then mostly Americans, Stella, but then most of the, actually all the people that I've had spiritual experiences with, they spoke English. Most of the books in my library, the interesting books, they are written in English, either from England or mostly from the US. So I have still videos to make in English, in the English language. This is one of my contradictions, namely that I've been speaking in English for 90, I don't know, more than 95 or 98% of my videos in 2022, and already in 2019 I speak English, which is a limitation for me, because I cannot express myself as smoothly as I would like to. This is a limitation of language, but at the same time it enables to reach a broader audience, because I can speak to the English, the Scots, the Irish, the Australians, the Canadians, the Americans, and anyone speaking English, which is the lingua imperi, the language of the empire. Yeah. So yeah, And sometimes here I'm in a mood to be a little bit light. Sometimes I make good puns with the English language. I know probably I can anticipate that I might have said things, made mistakes in English, and it will come back at me, and the English will say, yeah, you thought you had this in mind, but actually it doesn't mean what you think it means. I can anticipate. I will be probably punished at some moment by the English language. If the English, if they can laugh at me for whatever, it will appease my suffering, whatever. I can only anticipate, because I probably said stupid things in the English language. I can anticipate. If the English can laugh at me, the English of England, yeah, whatever. But yeah, more seriously, I still have videos to make in English, and I've tried to go in a full I don't know, full what? Spiritual warfare mode. But if I do not, I try to sleep 4 hours a night, then it drives me insane. I realize that in order to be balanced, I need to sleep, basically. So in this way, I'm still only human. And not sleeping enough drives me insane. My mood, my mood is partly connected to the chemical balance in my brain. And in order to be chemically balanced, I need to sleep at least 6 hours, and even maybe 7. So what I want to say, I will work at least a little bit longer, then I go to sleep. I make this one video, or maybe a couple of videos in English, which will be long videos, so I will complain probably that people don't watch this because they do not have 4 hours or 5 hours or 6 hours in a row to watch my videos, so I might complain. But whatever I do, I have to pay the price of making errors and be punished in a way. Consciously, I choose to structure and to order and to try to control. But here, trying to control is wrong because it's a lack of confidence, whatever. Confidence in the process. It's being tied to whatever. So I have to let go, but letting go completely is reckless and irresponsible. So I have to find the proper balance. If I am at peace with my decision, and my decision consists in being at war with myself, basically, which means with others, with myself through the mediation of others in a spiritual struggle. So it's been 30 minutes now. What I consciously plan to do, and I will make one video that I will publish on the channel Eternal Light, not on this channel. On the channel Eternal Light. I'll put the link. One video in English for everyone, but mostly for an English-speaking audience. At least one video, maybe 2, I don't know. And then I will make videos in French. I will talk to the French in French. And then I don't know what will happen, but basically I will just conclude by saying it is difficult. I probably deserve the difficulty. I have no right to complain, whatever. I don't know what people will say, but basically I think on an abstract level that I do not experience this constantly, but when I think, sometimes I know in an abstract level that all the contradictions of the world, they are in my mind in a way. All the psychological problems of all humans, all the interpersonal problems, all the social, economic and political problems, all the geopolitical problems, they are in a way in my mind. And yeah, knowing what happens in the mind of one single human being, the psychological, psychiatric, sometimes psychoanalytical problems which happen in the mind of just one individual, you multiply this by 7 billions, then there are the social problems. So maybe I deserve the difficulty, but it's difficult. It's difficult. And that's what I had to say. So my next videos where I talk about about controversial topics will be on the channel Eternal Light, and on this channel, if or when, I don't know, I publish content, it will be probably shorter videos to make my thoughts intelligible. But basically my best videos, namely those who contain the highest quantity of information in the shortest amount of time, the proportion, whatever, is probably my video on logic, speculative logic. If people understand, and then what I can say, I know that it's not rigorous, but my video usually they keep getting better and better in terms of intellectual content, because of what I said earlier, because I become smarter every day. So my video, they keep getting better and better in terms of intellectual content. I mean, not all, because videos like this is just improvisation, but those who are a minimum structured, yeah. So that's what I can say. I will just conclude by saying that the idea of reason, and here idea can be used in the Hegelian sense, I mean reason, it's so when people understand who or what I am, Not here, not even on a religious moral standpoint as the negative, Lucifer or Satan or whatever, but on an epistemological level. And eventually they will at some moment. Reality will be transformed in. I can only imagine, but and that's why no matter what efforts I try to implement to stabilize, when others realize what we are, what I am, what the others are, I don't know what to say. I have to accept my decisions. The first step towards whatever is to accept one's own decision. I try to find a proper balance between being brave, one might say, in a sense to I try by sharing my address. I do not intend to move. If people want to complain, and they will, you know where to find me. I will not suppress any video, but at the same time, I try not to be completely reckless, although I probably am. So my decision, I will make one video in English, at least, then in French, and then in the coming days, or this week or next week, I don't know. The reality will change on a fundamental level. That's what I had to say.